We're live. New setup here tonight. Welcome to the Ryan Ripken Show, episode 23. And yes, there was a little bit more of technical difficulties. As you can see, we are not sitting at the desk, but we're all here, guys. So there's Brad. How we doing? Zach?
I know. I'm lounged up. I'm feeling comfortable right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Are we digging this vibe more so here versus like at the table over there? What's the deal?
I like that word. I like that my elbow every time I lift my elbow up isn't in Ryan's shot. I noticed I was scratching my head a lot before, and I was like, I could see my elbow.
Well, yeah, and Ryan would readjust everything in his seat, and so like he's always showing up in everybody's frame.
Whoa. Okay, timeout. For the first off, yeah, you put the largest guy in the middle. Okay, first off, and secondly,
well, hold on. We put Gavin in the middle, and he did not have nearly
because he
didn't fidget nearly as much as
you. Gavin knows I'm the larger individual of the two. He might be thicker, but he's
a big boy.
Yeah, I got the wingspan on him. But hey, we're trying to the new out tonight. We appreciate everyone tuning in for another episode. We got a lot to talk about, just like we always do. We're going to keep things spicy, which I think has been something that our viewers have liked so far. So we're going to get into some spicy topics, including maybe some trade rumors. Are they rumors? Are they real? What?
Also, I do want to point out we're like a minute and a half into the stream. I'm putting over under before Ryan tries to adjust the mic at like 7.5 minutes.
I told him not to touch it.
That's why he's going to touch it.
We'll see. We'll see. I said, he sounds perfect. Don't touch it. Don't touch it, Ryan.
All right, fair enough. Well, hey, for anyone that's going to be joining the stream tonight, feel free to ask us any questions or thoughts. We love the interaction. We live for it, honestly. So feel free, have at it. But we're going to get into our spicy topics. Then we're going to talk about, obviously, the Ravens and Cardinals are taking place, including if, there's some receipts that were kept about. I believe it was a tweet that came out on May 11th when the schedule was released that the Arizona Cardinals were playing the Baltimore Ravens. We're going to have our game picks. Brad is going to brag about that he's a percentage point higher than me on the game picks. And then we're going to still have some other moments about what you should know about. And then we're going to wrap it up and move on like we always do. But before that, any other closing remarks? Are you guys ready to rock and roll?
Bro. We exploded this week.
Wow.
How about that? We got a lot of new subscribers. So if you guys are joining our live stream and you just subscribed to the channel this week, shout us out. Put it in the chat. Somebody just saw you guys. Truth Bear says saw you guys in the algorithm. Had to subscribe. That's what's up.
Boom. So Truth Bear, out of curiosity, if you understand the algorithm, can you show us or tell us? Because we're still trying to figure this shit out. But we appreciate that the algorithm brought us to you and you to us. And here we are. We do this every Monday and Thursday. As of now, we have the live stream, but we're going to try to keep doing more days as we grow. But the bandwidth's hard, right?
Yeah.
We have lives, we have jobs. We'd love for this to become a more daily occurrence.
Yes.
But we can't always have what we want yet, but it's not an if, it's a when. And it was a great week. And specifically the last 2 days, guys, like Zach, we were checking it constantly, like holy shirts and pants.
I had popcorn sitting, just watching the analytics. It was
same
must-see television.
Yeah.
At least for us.
The live feed is the best. And for those of you who don't know, I've been on YouTube for 7 years. I have my own channel with 45,000 subscribers, and I've helped other channels grow and build their platforms as well. It just never gets old. And I told you guys, it's like we'll get to 1 million and then we'll still be watching it. It's addictive. It's like watching the score.
That's why we do it.
Yeah,
that's why we do it
for sure. It's awesome.
I mean, and again, thank you to the algorithm. Thank you to everyone that watched and commented. Whatever happened, we're excited and we got so much more in store. But hey, let's dive in because it is episode 23. And what's spicy, guys? Well, there's a few things that were spicy. How about the fact that we have 2 teams that are in the World Series that probably weren't on your bingo card to start this year?
Yeah.
And wild games, 2 7-game series. Both teams went on the road. And I'll tell you what, though, some fan bases, in particularly one, the Philadelphia Phillies, really did not take the news well that they did not advance to the World Series. And I think we have a video here to kind of sum that up, Brad.
Yeah, here you go.
At home field for 2 games, and you let them come here and beat us?
Phillies need to sell Trey Turner. That guy's a fucking idiot. We went farther without that guy. Fuck the Phillies, honestly.
Trade the whole fucking team. This team fucking blew today.
I want to say that I'm fucking depressed. I had to ask 9 people for this fucking cigarette.
Philly fans, we always stink.
Disappointment.
Oh, man, that was just straight garbage.
This sucked.
I hope they never fucking play a baseball game again.
Fire Topper. Topper! What's up, man?
Feeling like I want to go lay in traffic.
All them bitch ass motherfuckers I couldn't get a hit when we motherfucking needed it.
I love how we spent $700 million for guys to go 0 for 12 combined.
Let's go Jets.
That's a good point.
I'm feeling good because, we still got the birds.
Go Bird!
Go Birds.
Hit the fucking ball, man. Come on, really? Hit the fucking ball.
Overpaid.
Fuck that.
Hey, wait, where'd you get this banana?
From a homeless guy.
Hey, how do we feel about Dancing on My Own as a song moving forward?
You got to cut it.
Time to retire. Find something new.
Still fires up the crowd.
Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't work this year, so it's got to go.
Fucking on! I'm crying instead of dancing!
I get shitty ass fucking song. They need to ditch that shit.
I don't want to hear that song ever again.
How about you shut up?
So
Everything
shout
about
out
it's perfect.
Shout out Buster Delphia for doing that. That was his footage there. But this is typical Philadelphia fans. Look, we're all Baltimore Orioles fans here. They got swept by the Rangers, and yeah, the Orioles have been bottom of the barrel for God knows how long. What do we say?
Yeah.
This is the 6th time in 40 years that they've been
Yeah.
to the playoffs. So we had every reason to kind of be pissed, I guess, that they get one series into the playoffs and then they get swept out. And yeah, it was disappointing. But for Philly fans are like this. I have a buddy of mine who is a Philadelphia fan. He's the Eagles fan and a Phillies fan. He's from Philly. And Jalen Hurts, his rookie year, obviously wasn't fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And just rip this guy, get rid of him, drop him, blah, blah, blah. We got to start over, blow everything up. Every single and if you're watching this, you're a Philadelphia anything fan. Give me a reason to not feel this way, because every time I encounter a Philadelphia fan, this is how they are.
It's incredible. I want that kid that went at Trey Turner.
Yeah.
I think we let him run the team for an offseason. What would he do? I think that's the question that the Philadelphia Phillies front office needs to ask is, what would that kid do in our situation? Because he said facts. They went further without Trey Turner. So he's already off to a good start. I mean, he knows what he's talking about.
The guy with the banana. What?
That was incredible.
Incredible.
Where'd you get that? Some homeless guy.
There was so many different ways that you could take that video. You could take it from the sense of there's fans that are so disappointed, so sad, so pissed off. And by the way, Trey Turner won a World Series, by the way. He is a World Series champion with the Washington Nationals. Every bit of that just is gold. But hey, it reminds you, Philly is very passionate, like a lot of people. But yes, in Baltimore, that's why for certain fan bases, the Orioles haven't been to a World Series in 40 years. Texas Rangers haven't won a World Series, period. And now they're going. And the D-backs, it's their first time back to the World Series since 2001 when they won it against the New York Yankees. But I think the bigger story with it is, how about the fact that the D-backs, the 84-win team that we thought, honestly, how could you go and win in Philly just because of that energy?
We said that, yeah.
And then whammy, the D-backs went and punched him in the mouth and quieted the rowdiest crowd in the postseason.
This is by far the best season for baseball that I could remember, as far as I can remember in my entire life. I don't know when the last time we saw NLCS, ALCS go 7 games each in the same year. And look, to your point, the D-backs having 84 wins, the least likely team to make it all the way to the World Series. And even the Rangers leading up into, going into the end of the season, you kind of thought that perhaps they were falling off that cliff and that it was just going to be Astros and Phillies. It's basically what it looked like at the start of the postseason. And to see how this is all kind of transpired, by far the best season for baseball that I can remember.
I mean, these both of these teams 2 years ago had 110 losses.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were drafting the Orioles selected. It would be Jackson Holiday. Yeah. Orioles select Jackson Holiday. Then the next 2 picks were the Diamondbacks and then the Rangers.
Right.
So both of these teams, I think they combined for 220 losses in 21, 22. And now they're playing in the World Series.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was on the record saying after Philly went up 2-0, I didn't think they were going to lose a game the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And then they lose the series, which was mind-boggling. I did not see that coming. And it's like the Stephen A. Smith video. Never in a million years did I see this coming.
Well, another note, by the way, for this whole postseason, which has been crazy, home field advantage really has been a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And I think if my math was correct.
Correct. That's a new word.
Correctly
yeah.
right.
Yes, correct. I was correctly right. There was 36 postseason games so far in the postseason for baseball. The road team has won 22 of the 36. And including in the championship series, that the Rangers and Astros, the road team won all 7. And then in this case, the Diamondbacks go into Philly and win game 6 and 7. Hey, it's a great story, whether you think the postseason new format is good or bad, whatever it is. The D-backs went through, they grinded. It should be a fun series.
Yeah.
And how about this? It's 2 teams that it's not the top big market teams. And don't you want to see some parity? Well, you got that this year. Hopefully it'll be a great series. I bet it will be. Moving on then into, actually, before we do that, shout out just for Orioles that are going to be playing in the, or have a chance to win a ring. Former Orioles Christian Walker, Chase Peterson, Miguel Castro. Did I get that right?
Yep.
So, hey, hopefully they get a chance at it. I'd still do like Texas. We'll talk about that more at a different point. But I think probably the spiciest right now, Zach, and you've been all over this. You've been giddy over there. Trade rumors. The NFL trade deadline's approaching. It's next Tuesday, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, it's coming up. And the amount of Derrick Henry talk is through the roof. Zach.
Oh yeah, I got to sit up in the seat a little bit for this one. This is my favorite time of year. I obsess over trade rumors and just everything involving the trade market, free agency. So this is like my Christmas. And the fact that the Ravens are, I guess, the main suitors right now for Derrick Henry, like we've seen a few reports saying that, I know Sports Illustrated just put out a story saying the Ravens are the most likely to land the star running back. So I guess my question to you guys is, how do you feel about it? Because personally, do I think Derrick Henry is that big of an upgrade to the Ravens? Not necessarily. But do I look forward to him doing literally anything in a Ravens jersey? And I can tweet out in all caps, King Henry at every Titans fan that has ever talked crap to us, 100%. And that's kind of why I want it to happen. Because I have a lot of Titans fans who have gotten a lot of happiness from watching Derrick Henry run over us.
And
so
and
for
Eric,
us to
Eric,
get him,
or Earl Thomas, remember like that
lead blocking for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think. It would just be so full circle. Like we have the last laugh on that little Titans-Ravens rivalry that happened for like 4 years. It's like, okay, we took your star player.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, it would be, in 2019, we've kind of like drawn a lot of parallels of Lamar Jackson's MVP season to this one, because it just kind of has that vibe. And obviously Lamar's been throwing the ball a little bit more, but like Mark Ingram ran his ass off that year.
Yeah.
And so it kind of feels like if they had a guy like Henry, does it give the similar, like, does it just add another piece to that 2019 MVP type run that we could see that translate in the playoffs? I hope that something like that happens. Could we get Derrick Henry on a rental and then we'll see what goes on after the season? I think that there's still a high likelihood that happens. I would be more than happy to trade a 4th rounder or something like that for Derrick Henry just to get him for this season. And then we see what happens with JK once he recovers from that Achilles.
Yeah, I mean, it's an exciting fantasy, right? I think everyone had it in Baltimore during the Orioles season, Otani to Baltimore, right? And you can dream.
I never.
I know you.
thought.
I know you
I
didn't.
did.
I
did.
yes, I know
I
you.
was 100% on the Otani to. I was spreading.
I
those
was like, that
rumors.
was not a
Yeah,
chance.
that
You know, yes, we were on the same page. Zach was in fantasy world, fantasy land. La La. What's the movie with Ryan Gosling and is it La La Land?
Yeah,
La La Land.
yeah, that's right. Right, La La Land. Yeah,
Don't ask me.
I'm gonna be honest. I never saw it.
I didn't either. That's why I know exactly what you're talking about, but I could not.
I heard it had good reviews. Didn't watch it, but what I have watched has been Derrick Henry's career and what he's done to the Ravens community. And I will say this, and we're looking at this and bringing it up here. Yeah, I mean, Derrick, Lamar, Mark, Zay, OBJ, Bateman on play action. Yeah, that's a really fun formation. That's a great idea.
Oh shit.
And even to truth bearers, and again, welcome to the stream, Truth. I'm skeptical the Titans would trade him to the Ravens without asking for King's ransom. I think certain GMs and organizations got to understand of where they're at and what they're going to be willing to give up, because if you are going to make the decision that you're going to move on and you don't think Derrick Henry is going to be a part of your plans next year, then you're going to look for a trade partner.
Yeah.
And even if it is the Baltimore Ravens, if they give you the best deal, you want to take that. You know, and in that sense, when the Ravens went and got Roquan Smith, which might turn out to be one of the best trades the Ravens have ever made.
Yeah.
The Ravens said, hey, we're going to give you a second round pick. And that was the Bears were like, that's a great deal. We'll take it.
Yeah,
So,
well, and the thing of it for me was like, what Derrick Henry, and I think a lot of people kind of forget about this, especially if you're not a Titans fan, or you haven't been following him. He's 29 years old now.
Yeah.
So there is no King's ransom for King Henry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's still running his ass off, but like he's not going to be the same dude. He's going to be 30 next year. So any sort of trade isn't going to be some blockbuster type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I would be comfortable with like a 4th rounder for Derrick Henry, something like that.
And even just about, I guess, the concerns that the Titans wouldn't trade him to us. This is their GM's first year.
They're rebuilding it.
Yeah. So it's not like it's someone who went and competed with us and is really doesn't have a good relationship with us. This is a new guy. He's trying to build his team.
Ryan Tannehill isn't starting this week.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's going to be Will Levis is going to be the starter this week. And it's a game. I think they play the Atlanta Falcons. Look, you know, the Titans Vrabel's a great coach. So they're going to keep battling and grinding and finding a way. But when you trade away their leader in Kevin Byard, and you make that move, you're kind of sending a message that we're on the verge of we're in the middle of no man's land, and you're kind of pushing towards being sellers. Now, let me ask you guys this question, because this is another spicy thing. Say it's not Baltimore. Say it isn't Baltimore. Seen some links to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Cowboys.
That's what I was going to say. Cowboys.
I see. And then they're saying Dallas. For me, if I was him, going to Buffalo would be scary, because who's going to tackle him with Josh Allen? But Josh Allen likes the ball in his hands a lot. Do you think going to Dallas would make that much of an impact there with them already having Tony Pollard?
Yeah, I think it does. And I think it's just because they can start doing what they did last year with Zeke and Pollard, where you really saw them use Pollard to the best of his ability, and he doesn't have to be that complete lead back.
He's not an every down back.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that, I think. And we saw that last year. We saw it with Zeke too. But like, yeah, that would be a huge compliment to the Cowboys. I still don't know if the Cowboys are going to go deep into the playoffs by just adding one piece. But of course, it would make a huge difference. And Jerry Jones is just the guy that would just like, oh, screw it. I'll give up whatever you want for Derrick.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather, if he doesn't go to the Ravens, I'd rather him go somewhere else.
NFC.
Yes, please.
Not AFC, please.
Yeah.
And I don't think it would be a cool story, but I do love what the Ravens are doing with their running backs. Like Gus the Bus is proven. And now he's not a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley. I get it.
He's also 28.
Yeah.
So it's all understandable. But in this case, Derrick Henry, the style of it would be interesting. You heard Saquon Barkley say he doesn't want to get traded. He wants to stay in New York, which is understandable. But again, similar concept. Who would you guys rather have?
Well,
finish your thought, and then you can answer my question.
Yeah, I was going to say because I've seen a lot of people say we have Gus Edwards. We don't need we don't have a running back issue. Why are we adding a running back issue? Running back. Well, we don't right now.
Right.
But you're Gus Edwards missing a game or two away from having a massive running back issue.
Yes.
I mean, we've talked about it before. Justice Hill is an incredible change of pace back. We all really like Keaton Mitchell. He's got a hamstring right now. But if Gus goes down, we got to go back to the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
we're not picking up Drake. Kenyon Drake, did he go anywhere else? He's just
I think he's back on surfing around.
Surf fumbles a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand your point of it. So hey, Eric DaCosta always does his homework. He is going to look around, and if the price is right and it's there, he's proven he's going to make a deal. But you didn't answer my question, Zach. Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley are available, and you can get one of them. And say for Saquon, you have to give up a second. For Henry, you got to give up a third or fourth. Which one you taking?
Oh, I would still have to go Saquon. I mean, just overall, I think Saquon is so dynamic in every aspect, and what he would bring as a pass catcher that Henry can't bring would add a different element to the offense than if Derrick Henry comes, because then Derrick Henry's not the best running out of shotgun. He's not the best receiving back. Whereas with Saquon, he's that all around back. We know what Derrick Henry is. He's extremely good at what he does, but he's just going to run you over. He's not necessarily going to sit there. You can dump it off to him in the flats and he gets shifty and makes a play. He's going to run through you and you hope you can tackle him.
I think that if I'm putting my GM hat on and I'm banking on JK coming back and still being our guy, it's going to be Derrick Henry, because I think that we have to give up less to get him.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have to give up more to get Saquon. And if money or draft picks or whatever wasn't an issue, Saquon all day. And if I knew that we weren't going to have JK next year, we're going to move on from him, then make the move for Saquon Barkley. But if we just need a back right now for this season to try to get a Super Bowl win, and we don't have to spend a lot of capital to get him, then I think that I would still take the Derrick Henry trade.
Yeah. And to close that with the Titans, I think the dynamic is Saquon, if you trade for him, you want him long term.
Yes.
You want him long term.
Without a doubt. That would be
you want Saquads to be in the purple and black for a while. Derrick Henry would fit the style, and you'd feel like more of a rental, more of a short term. But man, wouldn't it just punch Titans fans right in the gut?
Yeah.
If the fact that he comes, and the other reason is because of the rivalry that was back in the early 2000s with the Ravens and Titans. It got rekindled, obviously. But Eddie George, Ray Lewis, I saw that get brought up by Rick. Imagine then Derrick Henry helps the Ravens win a Super Bowl, something that Tennessee hasn't been able to figure out.
Yeah.
And so that would just be a huge gut punch. No doubt about it. Hey, we'll find out. Should be fun. Those are the biggest names, obviously, we've heard. I'm sure there's going to be some other pass rushers that are going to be talked about. I heard, what are the Commanders going to do? Are they going to sell some of their
Montez Sweat, Chase Young? A lot of rumors going around that I think it was reported that they've received an offer for Sweat. They have not received an offer for Young, but they're asking for a 3rd-round pick.
For Sweat?
Or I think it was both. I think
sources say, at Zach.
Some sources on the interwebs have pointed out that I guess they received one offer and then they're looking for, I think it was a 3rd and 4th for. I mean, you would just get one of them, but
I don't think you're getting both.
That would be
that'd be ridiculous. But hey, the pass rushers, that's another hot topic for what disrupts offenses, guys that can get to the quarterback and be disruptive, right? So those are names are going to be monitoring, but obviously Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, because of the premium that they are. You can say running backs are devalued. Those guys, though, from what they do, besides outside of pass rushers, can make an impact. But talking about sources and whether being real or fake, Zach. There's questions now for you, which is spicy. Your story or your tweet went up on Ravens Instagram, on their Instagram story, and now for some reason people are wondering if it's the real Zach.
this is just, I saw this coming. I don't know why this happened, but I have not changed my profile picture in possibly 2 years. And this morning I was like, you know what? I'm going to go switch up my Twitter profile picture. So I do it. I'll share the tweet up here. So then I see that this tweet goes up on the Ravens Instagram page. So I was like, oh, awesome. So I screenshot it and shared it to my Twitter. Is it up there?
Yeah.
Can we see
Oh,
it?
it's up there.
Awesome. So obviously I just wanted to make sure. So here it is. And I pointed out, I said, was just casually scrolling Instagram stories and saw this dumbass is still getting attention. Forgetting that I had changed my Twitter profile picture. And because you do that, Twitter takes away your check mark for a little bit to review.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
So I just want to say, first off, shout out to everyone in the comments that was going to defend me thinking it was someone else. Huge shout out to you guys. But I got a lot of people thinking that I was calling myself out a dumbass, but it wasn't me. So I got a lot of things from people. There was a lot of questions on if I was really myself today.
It was perceived as if like you were saying that there's an imposter out there.
Yeah.
And everybody was like coming to your defense when you were calling yourself indeed the dumbass.
Yeah.
And then you actually make a dumbass tweet about yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Now all of a sudden, this is just what goes down.
It's coming full circle. But you just wanted to get a nice profile picture shot of that mustache. Can we get a mustache shot?
Yeah, we sure can.
Whammy. There it is. That's what.
That's what sells tickets. What sells tickets.
That sells something. I don't know what, but it's not tickets. But
it sells a lot of porn.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That if I could pull off the stash, I would. I'm trying to grow out the beard a little bit right now. It's not my best look.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking the scruff.
But is this scruff now, or are we? I don't know.
It's not a beard yet. I got the beard, right? Like you can see this clear beard right there. It's not a 5 o'clock shadow. It's more than that, but it isn't quite the beard yet.
Well, you guys just wait until we get really comfortable with each other. I can show you guys photos of me when I was going through playing in 2019. Facial hair, I kept it because I was hidden well, and then had to get shaven off. And I did it in stages. You saw the goatee pic. I don't know if that should ever make it out on the airwaves.
That was during your bulking phase.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The bulk, big rip back then. One of those days. We'll do the Chronicles of Ryan one day. That I looked like a completely different person.
Bro, some of the stories we were talking about this evening definitely need to come out at some point. I don't know how I don't know how we're gonna get that produced or where that fits into the
What
show.
if I told you?
Yeah. There's gonna be something, but like wild shit.
I picture Ryan just like on a very dark stage, and there's just a stool with the light coming down.
I can make that happen.
Yeah,
I can make that happen.
Well, hey, we might have to as we keep growing our audience. And I think there'll be some stories that people would like to hear. They're fun. Oh, and by the way, just wanted to look at this. Derrick Henry all day. Well, hey, good ball player. Guy is hard to bring down. It feels like it takes 15 players, and you can only have 11 on the field at the time. But yeah, so we're going to monitor the trade situations. We're going to monitor if Zach is the real Zach or it's someone else. And then we'll have story time with Rye when we get our proper light and our proper setup. We're going to have a lot of things changing in the studio coming soon.
Yep. Some more money getting invested in the studio, which you love to see it. And we're going to be upgrading equipment. We're going to be upgrading all kinds of stuff.
All started with my profile picture.
It sure did.
All started with
it was definitely the mustache.
Yeah.
Without question.
It's what happens.
Without question.
It's the Zach effect.
You know what you need to do now? You need to get a nice outfit so you can start peacocking. So have the mustache, get a ridiculous, maybe get like a leopard shirt. And our Friday video that we need to put out there.
The ruffle button down.
Yes.
I could pull that off.
You totally could pull that off.
No doubt about it. I need to get a new Hawaiian shirt. I love my flamingo. Some people hate it. I don't know why, but that can be for a different time and for a different era. That also started because the Norfolk Tides in 2021 were trying to win games. We tried to switch it up. Good vibes. We lost 5 in a row. But anyway,
After 5 in a row after you took that picture? Or
No, that
picture
was
taken because of
I bought the shirt initially to rid the team of voodoo. Then we lost, and then I did another superstition, which story time. You won't want to miss that. Can't explain that here because we got more to talk about here. And there's obviously what's been spicy has been Lamar Jackson. A lot of talk about Lamar Jackson of how well the Ravens played this past Sunday against the Detroit Lions, whether or not Lamar was worth his money, whether or not he was playing up to the contract, however you want to view the comments, discussion, whatever it may be. Lamar Jackson's playing some really good football this year. And his former teammate, RG3, was very complimentary and also just had some interesting perspective on the time he was there with not only Lamar Jackson, but with Joe Flacco. Yep.
Gonna get there.
And rolling.
It's happening.
I thought I set that up so well.
You were so good at it.
We've been working on, so I wanted to touch them. I wanted to touch the mic and move it, but I didn't. But I didn't.
We are at an incredible run rate.
But we didn't. All right,
here we go.
Here's the RG3 talking about Lamar and Joe Flacco.
Probably not many quarterbacks that throw a prettier ball than Joe Flacco. Being 6'6", big arm. He could drop it in the bucket from 65 yards away. It was unbelievable. You know, I haven't seen very many quarterbacks that can do that. There's a viral clip that was going around in 2018. This was Lamar's rookie year. And it's me and Joe on the sideline coaching Lamar up about a certain throw and when to make that certain throw. And in that moment, I was doing what I normally do every single week with Lamar, talking about these different throws. And in that moment, Joe jumped in and started teaching Lamar things there on the sideline. And I was like, oh, we're really going to go somewhere now, because that was like the first moment that our entire room was like on the same page of, we got to help Lamar do everything that he needs to do to help us win games. And it's not about self in that moment.
Going on right now.
We're good.
Pause. Well, hey, so you heard it there. It's conversations, and obviously it's going back to when Lamar's rookie year, Joe Flacco was a starting quarterback, and that was a big changing of the guard when the move was made.
Yeah, and you know what? Like the whole conversation is on RG3's YouTube channel. He actually prefaced that by saying like how awkward the quarterback's room was, you know, after they drafted Lamar. And that it was kind of weird. And you got to imagine, right? Like, it's got to be weird and if you're the franchise quarterback and then all of a sudden, you know, your franchise drafts somebody, you know, another quarterback, and then it's like, oh shit, like I'm either on the hot seat or I'm on my way out. Maybe there's some reality that sets in, like Father Time's caught up to me, or maybe it's just my time's done here. You know, we saw that with the whole Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers situation, and we've seen that all around the league. We saw that even with like a Baker Mayfield situation, and he wasn't even there. He wasn't even there that long.
Hey, Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts getting picked. No one was expecting Jalen to go to the Eagles, especially after they thought Carson would get back to that MVP performance, which he didn't. And obviously it turned out for the Eagles and for the Ravens.
Right. And you got to imagine that, like, in the beginning, it had to have been awkward. There's nobody should have been surprised by that, but it is kind of cool to hear that, like, Joe and then RG3, of course, were like, you know, kind of saw the writing on the wall, and it was like, well, we could sit here and be assholes, or we can actually help them out and like actually help the team win, which you kind of saw that shift, right? Once Lamar started after Joe's quote unquote hip injury, whether it was real or not. And then Lamar started the next game, and it was history after that. And it was kind of one of those things where it was just cool to see, because you don't see that all of the time. Yeah. And, you know, Aaron Rodgers talked about how he would, you know, give Jordan Love pointers or just talk to him about talk ball with him. But it was never like this, I thought.
Yeah. I think, you know, we talked about the reality setting in with Flacco. I think a lot of that also comes from the fact that it's not that they just drafted a quarterback. They traded back in the first round to get this quarterback that has been falling. And I don't even want to say it's not like a Will Levis falling. It was a Heisman quarterback who has shown everything in the world, but it's just this where does he play narrative of could this style win? So all of a sudden, it's also in some ways, Joe could have been like, what can I teach Lamar with his play style? Because talk about two polar opposite quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's strong arm pocket. If Joe got outside the pocket, you were hoping he could scamper 5 yards for a first. But now you have, okay, we need plays. You know, we would have plays where Lamar would come on the field and you'd see Flacco standing out in wide receiver, extremely uninterested in the play.
Yeah.
And it did take a little bit to finally get to what RG3 talks about, where he's like, okay, it's all past us. Now let's go forward and help this kid win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the changing of the guard and having someone come in after you in any sport, any profession. It's not even.
Well, I mean, I was going to ask, like, was there any sort of situation in which you kind of felt that way?
Yes. Every single year you play professional baseball, they draft another group of guys. And it's not, and before when I was there, it's not, 5 guys, 10 guys, or 7 like the NFL. It's 40 rounds.
Yeah.
And yes, the guys they invest more money in. And that's the other part is when they invested more money in guys and say they brought in a new draft class and it's a guy that plays your position and they're paying him a little bit more, they're going to give that guy opportunity. So it's every single year with baseball that happens. And you can also get that feeling of the writing on the wall where maybe you're not playing as well and someone gets called up. I mean, kind of for me in 2021, that was kind of a sense that I had. And look, I was at a different stage of my career. I was not playing as well when I had the opportunity. And then they had to make decisions. And so in this case and that's on a smaller scale, right?
Yeah.
Like mine's a smaller scale where it's just a different circumstance. In the NFL, there's one starting quarterback for every team. And in this case, Joe Flacco had been the starter and had been, and for as long as it's going to be right now, Lamar Jackson's on pace to be the best quarterback that the Ravens will have. But at this current moment, still the best quarterback in franchise history was Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Because of what he's accomplished, because he's what he's done in the playoffs. He brought a Super Bowl back to Baltimore. So all of that, it's still, you can be confident in your abilities, but that still hurts. It hurts a little bit to go, I feel like I've done a lot. And that's the beauty, or not the beauty, that is the reality of the business. Shit's tough.
Yeah.
That's the reality. And you know what I was interested hearing? RG3 was saying about trying to mentor with it. And I didn't really like the sense of saying that Joe wasn't trying to help or his example of trying to help is going to be different. He's not going to be maybe the more nurturing, but by no means that I think that he was a negative influence on anything with Lamar.
No, I don't think you're going to hear Lamar say that either. And I would make the argument that it's probably more scheme based or, look at this defense. This is how it's set up. Let's look at some film type of thing rather than like, I'm going to, completely different players, right? Joe's a statue in the pocket, whereas Lamar's all over the place. So like, there's nothing that Joe's going to be able to give him from that standpoint either. So I would think that if there's any sort of insight, it would have been on scheme or, how to read defenses, something like that, rather than, more than anything else.
And I think another thing, and it goes to a lot of the person Lamar Jackson is let's say, even if there were moments that RG3 is talking about where it just felt uncomfortable, it didn't feel like they were all together.
Yeah.
I have never heard Lamar Jackson say a single ill word about Joe Flacco ever. I mean, or really even the situation. I mean,
well, to be fair,
to
be fair though, he hasn't said an ill word about anybody.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's
you'll
the
never.
kind of person,
I don't think you'll ever hear that.
No.
Yeah, and I think that's why it happened. Assuming that it was uncomfortable, I think it happened to a right person, because a lot of players, they come in and the quarterback's like, I can't really help you. That can mess with guys. But Lamar was just like, that's okay. I'm just going to keep doing my thing.
Yeah.
This is staying in house. I'm not going to say, oh, like I wish, Joe could help me more and cause issues. It was just, okay, we're just doing it. We're just going.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Lamar stayed in his lane
Mhm.
and he kept putting the work in, and obviously RG3 being involved and trying to work with him. Well, and regardless of how that all happened, what's transformed is Lamar Jackson to being a unanimous MVP. And right now he's playing some of his best football. And right now he is succeeding, even on the case where we've seen recently there were some NFL analysts out there right now that were even explaining that the Ravens were still having their struggles on offense where things weren't exactly clicking, but there's still a lot of praise for Lamar being an MVP. And I think we have some to discuss that a little bit, right, Brad?
Is it the Get Up video?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
All right. Thank you.
Get up.
Just here you go.
Team that we saw on Sunday, they beat every team in the NFL. Listen to what they did to the Lions.
Yeah.
Right? The Lions are a top-level NFC team, right? We've been raving about what they've been doing with Jared Goff. The Lions defense hadn't given up 100 yards rushing in a game all year long, and the Ravens put up 100 yards on them in the first half.
Yes, sir.
All right, so now I was talking about how the guys around Lamar needed to step up and be more, and they did exactly that. I mean, he had the most yak yardage ever in his career, 196 yards of it. I think he threw for 223 yards off of 11 play-action passes. So normally we've seen this offense be generated through Lamar and his running ability, and he's showing you now that he can be that elite passer because he's always been that way. He just needed a coach that was going to believe in him. Anyone hating on him now, they're just being green for that.
More from RG3.
Yeah, but hey, it's a good point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't smell any lies right there. If the Ravens played like they did against the Lions, they took care of the football. They're suffocating on defense, and Lamar's be able to extend plays and make things happen. The Ravens are going to be almost impossible to beat. In their losses this season, you can look at it. There was a lot of mistakes, turnovers in key situations, or not being able to take advantage of opportunities. Example in the Steelers game, right? So the Ravens doing a lot of things right. And I think what was interesting, RG3 saying all this, but then we talked about it. I mean, Kurt Warner then, Zach, was talking about how the Ravens are still maybe not even fully clicking on all cylinders. And it's a testament because Lamar Jackson is still making things happen because of his elite playmaking ability.
Yeah, I think the perfect example of that is the Nelson Aguilar touchdown. I mean, Lamar Jackson ran around for 9 seconds. I am no football mastermind. I can put my life on that play was not drawn up with the expectations of 9 seconds of protection. That means that the first play failed, that it was covered, great coverage, couldn't get to the guys. And then it's the Lamar Jackson show. And that's what makes Lamar Jackson so special is you can stop the first play, but you can't stop the second play when everything breaks down. And now you have, okay, Lamar's on the run. He can still throw it. What do we do? And then he finds Nelson Aguilar for a touchdown. And it's those moments where, yeah, that's the offense didn't create that touchdown. Lamar did when everything else failed. So it's like a good and bad as a Ravens fan. It's, yeah, the offense is doing all this and it still has so much further it can go, but it's also bad in the fact that we don't want to rely on Lamar to run around for 9 seconds and then score.
It's not sustainable, right? And that's the big question, the big key. And we have so you mentioned Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner also pointed out that the spacing from the wide receivers also needs work. And this was in the Lions game. So we saw our buddy Bobby talking about this earlier, and this is one of the screenshots that was shown from Kurt Warner's analysis on that Lions game. And you can kind of see where it seems as if the receivers aren't quite where they're supposed to be. And this this is what makes it look like at times that Lamar either isn't throwing accurately when, to the untrained eye, there's a lot of people are like, well, why can't Lamar throw the ball? Where the heck was that supposed to be? And lots of times it's because the receivers aren't where they're supposed to be. So as crazy and as amazing as that game was in the Lions game, it actually is almost scary that the offense was still as good as it was with some of these flaws here.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, first off, if you haven't watched it, you guys should go watch Kurt Warner's breakdown because he's very objective and gives an understanding, and he shows the routes and the concepts of where they should be.
And he's spot on.
But the other part of it too is he's even showing you the numbers that the Ravens are putting up. It's even more impressive given all that's going out that they're trying to work out, and that Lamar Jackson is making things happen. And he's going through his progressions or extending the play and making something happen. And that's the brilliance of Lamar Jackson right there. And hey, don't we all love that? But that's the beauty of where this team's going. And look, nothing's going to be perfect. We talked about this. Everyone's expectation that you're going to hit the ground running. I'm going to be honest here. Anything that I tried differently, and this included stances for me when I played, if I tried something for the first time, I can guarantee you shit sucked.
Yeah.
I went, this feels good in the cage. I'm going to go in the game. K, another K. Oh, I'm going to feel great. Shattered bat. And then maybe the fourth at bat, something finally clicked, right? So in this case, for this Ravens team, week by week, something little by little is clicking. But you know what's been clicking the entire time? Lamar Jackson.
Right.
Number 8.
And that's why he's the MVP frontrunner. It's like Mark Ingram, the MVP frontrunner. You got anything else to say about that? Meet him outside the bank.
Come see me.
Yeah. Hey, what was that phrase?
Trust. But I think that's the point that why Lamar's the MVP right now, because not everything is going well. There's still so much to go in the offense. And he's kind of by himself at moments making this stuff happen.
Well, that's why, a lot of talking heads are talking about Pat Mahomes being the front runner for MVP. Why?
Yeah.
He hasn't, like, if you compare the statistics between what Pat Mahomes has been doing lately and what Lamar's been doing, especially with what he's got, like, it's just been night and day. Just the eye test alone tells you that it's not even close in my view. And Vegas right now, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, Lamar's not exactly favored to win the MVP. He's probably like 5th or 6th down the line.
Still Mahomes.
And it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, again, when the Chiefs have one loss and Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback, yeah, I mean, rightfully so. There's no debate. And you know what gets me when we had this, some people were coming at us hot about, well, wait a minute. What about Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen? Like, we even said last show, if we're going to do a top 4 of playmakers, those are the top 4 for me. Mahomes, Lamar, Jalen, Josh, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we look at some of the other parts of it, Josh Allen has an elite top 3 wide receiver. AJ Brown, elite receiver for Jalen Hurts, also tremendous line, tremendous scheming of it. And Jalen Hurts, rightfully so, is an MVP candidate. No doubt about it. Like, all these guys are spectacular. The only reason we're making the case for Lamar Jackson is that he wins a lot of games when he plays. And clearly, I think that everyone wants to find a reason for why he shouldn't be as successful as he is. And when you really do watch it more, you marvel if you watch the Ravens over and over again because of how much he creates when nothing's there. So that's really where this whole conversation goes. We got a lot more to talk about with the Ravens and then the Ravens Cardinals. We'll dive in that in a second, but it's about to be kickoff. We want to make sure we get this pick in real quickly between the Bills and the Bucks. It's in Buffalo. Bills Mafia. First off, are we all feeling Buffalo here?
No.
Whoa.
No.
Oh, actually, no,
not.
that makes sense. Yeah, no, Brad is not bought in on Buffalo at all.
And I've been right.
Yeah, no, I'll give it.
So do you think Baker and the Bucks are going to go up there and get a victory tonight in 4 minutes?
It's really hard to go into Buffalo and win. But if you think that I'm confident in Josh Allen and the boys, sadly mistaken. I mean,
Baker's 1-0 versus Josh Allen.
Just saying.
They were one play away from losing to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
And then they lost, convincingly against the Patriots. And it's like they just didn't have their stuff the last 2 weeks. They lost in London as well.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on with the Bills? So, and here's the other
week doesn't help.
And the Bucks are not a bad team. The Giants are a really bad team.
Well, hey, you can say that they're playing more inspired with Tyrod Taylor. The defense actually has played better. They allowed 7 points against the Commanders. 14 against the 14 points against the Bills the week before. I get what you mean. They're in a funk. But don't you think you got to get out of the funk at some point? If they can't get out of the funk now, then they might be funky for a while.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I have no confidence in Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And until they win in convincing fashion, I mean, who are they?
Oh, that's a great point.
You kicked the shit out of the Dolphins. And then since then, they just haven't looked like a team that I'm confident going into the playoffs. I mean, look, I would not be surprised, at least the way that the Jets have been playing, that the Jets end up starting to make headway in the division.
Yeah.
And they are.
I guess we'll find out. Well, I'm going to take Buffalo. I'm on Bills Mafia tonight.
What's the line?
Yeah, it's 10. I think
Buffalo's favored by 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's too high.
That's high. I'm not disagreeing that that's not a high number here, but I do think that it is going to be the Buffalo Bills to get back on track, and so much so because I think Stephon Diggs, Zach, feels bad for letting people down in their parlays and bets.
I will say this is one of the best tweets I have ever seen. Stephon Diggs, after last game, comes out and tweets out that I ain't going to lie, I do be feeling a little bad when I F up y'all parlay or fantasy. That's a guy I want to bet on. That's a guy I want. He knows the Bills are struggling right now, and he's like, if I can't win on the field, maybe I can help some guys out, win parlays, win fantasy leagues. So that's a guy I want to bet on. That's a guy that week in and week out, he's got on the mind. He's looking up. He's like,
looking out for the fans.
Yeah, he sees he has 79 yards. He's like, someone definitely has me over 80. Let me try to get this screen pass.
And exactly. And he goes, and that's on me. I will make that happen. You know what? We're riding tonight. This is the Zach and Rye ride for the night. What are we going with? It's James Cook over 40 rush yards.
Then we got Mike Evans over 50 receiving yards. And we did 70 yards for Stephon Diggs.
And he'll probably get 140 or 69. One of the two. We'll find out here.
Pause.
Nice.
Yeah, knew it was coming. But hey, I think Buffalo bounces back. So Zach, you're with Buffalo as well, winning this game.
Yeah, but now that I know that the spread's like that, I would say Buffalo wins, but I don't think they cover. I could see that.
10 points.
That's insane. I did not think it would be 10
the
points.
The Bucks are not that bad of a team. I don't look.
Bucks are just super middle of the road.
NFC South is the whole division's ass, but like
they just should. They should have a representation in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you look at their quarterbacks, like that division by quarterbacks, it's Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder, and who am I forgetting?
Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young. That's why do we have to be in a division with Burrow?
That's what we talked about this last week. Being a Baltimore fan's tough.
We're just in all the
NFC
division.
or the AFC North, and then you got the AL East. Like those are the two Baltimore teams.
It's horrible.
In the toughest divisions in sports.
Hey, you don't like it? Play better. That's what it's all about. And you know what? You got to play who's on your schedule. And even if they're a good team, bad team, or something in the middle, you got to keep grinding.
Whatever.
And so, yeah, you know what? Whatever. And you know what's whatever? Week 8, Cardinals, Ravens. And don't think we didn't forget about that May 11th tweet here, by the way, which is brought up. And back then when it came out, and if you don't know what I'm referring to, it was when the schedule was released for the NFL. And Arizona Cardinals PR group had fun with every week they were having some different picture meme type of quality that they put out. In this case, they put out the song Running Back by Wale and Lil Wayne. They had a picture of Lamar Jackson. Oh, Lamar's a running back. If you guys haven't heard that one before, it's been going on for the last 6 years. And guess what? That matchup's finally happening. And guys, I have been waiting for this for a while.
Ryan kept receipts.
I did, but
a lot of receipts.
But you know what? Here's the thing. This is going to show us a lot for this team, and I'll have Zach. You can explain that in a second. But I mean, it just feels Lamar's a guy that even though he is quiet, he understands when messages are put out there. And as you try to explain that, Zach or Brad, I'm going to look up what his current lines are for this game because I said I would take all of them.
Yeah, me and Ryan talked about this earlier, and I put it out on Twitter a few days ago. I think this game shows us so much about the 2023 Baltimore Ravens, because we keep saying this team has 2019 vibes. So, huge, massive win, domination against the Lions. 2019 Ravens have Lamar Jackson against the Cardinals, sitting on the sideline in the fourth quarter, wearing sunglasses, eating food. 2020 to 2022, we probably lose this game or win by a Justin Tucker field goal. So the biggest thing for me going into this game is, how does this team respond to that success that they saw against Detroit? Do they come out and still have the pedal on the metal and they win by 40? Because if it's something like that, you really start to get the sense that this team can be different and that they can take it to that next level. Whereas the past few years, it would be massive win, Tucker saves us against a horrible team. And you didn't feel confident after those games.
You didn't. I don't know. I mean, this is the Cardinals. They got one win all year.
They're frisky.
The Cardinals are frisky.
They're frisky.
They compete. They battled against Seattle. They are down now. Kyler Murray was practicing, by the way. He doesn't have an injury designation.
Yeah. Speaking of running back,
I don't think he plays.
He won't play.
No, not a chance.
Against our defense, that would be a death sentence.
I would be surprised if we actually saw Kyler Murray this year.
Ooh.
I think he gets in there.
Why? Like what? Like
They want to trade him. They want to trade him.
That's what I think. That's what I mean.
I think they want him to put film out there, though.
Interesting. That's
But
an interesting
he might.
thought.
But if he plays too well and he loses him Caleb Williams, that's not ideal.
Ooh. You think they're going to get Caleb? You think
I think
what,
that's what
they're going to tank for Caleb?
Well, it doesn't matter right now because they don't own the first or second pick.
Yeah,
the
they'll-
Bears do.
both
Well,
of
actually,
them.
no. The
Love
Bears
it.
have 2 wins now, so never mind. The Bears still own the first pick.
Yes.
If they wanted
Yeah.
because there was the trade with Carolina. Hey, look, we'll figure out what happens there. It's so long down the road, but what we do know for the Ravens, this is an opportunity. This is a team you're supposed to beat, a team you got, but it's the NFL. You got to go out there and play the game. And especially we're talking about Lamar being incentivized because of the conversations that were put out there, the bulletin board material. How about Hollywood Brown being traded, even though the relationship is fine and there's a lot of love or no love lost, whatever it may be. When you leave the team that you play for, you want to ball out. Now, the Ravens hopefully are going to do everything in their power to not have that, but I think you summed it up well, Zach, with your tweet. What was that tweet?
Yeah, so I think it is going to be very obvious. Hollywood is either going to have 2 catches for 7 yards or he's breaking the all-time receiving record versus us. Like, there's no in between for these revenge games. And I'm terrified of a Hollywood Brown career game just because I feel like we keep saying, like, yeah, there's so much for us to prove. I mean, that's one of the few guys on that team that really is something to play for this Sunday.
We debunked Marlon Humphrey trash talking Hollywood Brown, right?
Correct.
Yeah, that was wrong. That was
How sad is it that I thought that was actually true?
Well, it was one of those things.
It kind
where-
of sounds like something Marlon would actually say.
Yeah, well, I had seen it and thought it was true too, and then I guess I went searching and saw it was fake, and then like 5 minutes later, you sent it in too, and I was like, okay, I'm not the only one. It made me feel better.
That bit the bait.
Yeah, I was
took
like,
the bait.
okay.
You guys, man, I tell you what,
Can't trust anything on the interwebs.
you really can't, especially when there's people that make profile pictures that look exactly like Adam Schefter and then tweet something out. You're like, oh my goodness, but then they have 6 followers.
Yeah, right.
But it has 1,000 likes because people don't always want to dive in. But dive into this game when you're looking at it across the board with the Ravens, with the Cardinals. The Ravens, position by position, have an advantage. You want to look across it. There's really no reason why the Ravens shouldn't win this game by 2 or more scores.
How are they not favored by 10 points? Like, you got the Bills favored by 10 points against Tampa Bay tonight. And so the line here is 8.5. I think they cover that.
It's got to be solely because they're on the road. Like, that's the only
I
thing.
guess.
Because don't they give 3 points for, like, that's the only.
Yeah, you get
reason.
3 points for being at home.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, and look, it is harder to go on the road in the NFL. There's no doubt about that. And to Zach's point, though, this could be a good test, a barometer for how spicy this Ravens or how good that they're feeling. If they're feeling good, they put this game away, and it's convincing fashion.
Hey, Ravens fans travel well. I would not be surprised if there was a lot of purple jerseys out there. So what would you want to just pick this one? So obviously I think we all think the Ravens are going to win. I think that we all think that the Ravens are going to win. Total points is 44. Do we take the over on that? I think I'm going to take the over, but I'm going Ravens win here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the over there as well. And I actually like this comment right here. Can I put this up here?
Yes, you may.
Did I show it? No, I have to hit show.
Do you need help? You need some assistance.
There we go. This is the first comment I've put on the show. That's big.
Big time. Hey,
here we go.
Mace, there we go. Zach says he's asking how you're feeling too. Say how.
Fantastic. Now that I know how to put stuff on the show, this is incredible.
Look at that.
As always, appreciate the support. And you're the recipient of Zach actually displaying the first message. Do you know how to take it off the board now?
Take it off.
Oh, hide. Boom.
There
Look
you
at
go.
that. But my point, I'm going to say Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens win and the over in that. I think we're going to see another 37-point game from the Ravens offense. I just feel it.
We should. The only thing I will say is that at least this year and going into last year too, the Ravens have always found a way to kind of play down the competition. I don't know why, but
And that's my biggest concern.
But it should be. I'm still going to take the over on that.
I think there's definitely going to be points scored, and I hope so. I really do. And maybe this is a game. Zay has a really big game. We're waiting for that explosive Zay Flowers. If some of those drops in that Steelers game, he would have had that massive game there. Maybe that's hey, this is the wide receiver we replaced you with, Hollywood type of, this is our new toy. I think Zay Flowers is going to have a big game for the Ravens. I think Lamar plays well. I think that Ravens defense is going to be dominant. And if Dobbs is starting, and to your point, I think that's the worst case there. Hey, Kyler, I hope you're feeling good. Welcome back. You get the Baltimore Ravens defense.
Yeah.
Good old Roquan.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with you. Consensus, Ravens win this game. If they don't, we'll meet you guys in the harbor. So,
oh God.
Listen, before we get into any more of the picks, I just want to say, I had an individual, might be a fan, might not be, put together our records.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
And I am leading in the picks.
And by fans, you mean yourself. Don't do this bullshit. This is what we're talking about.
So leading it into the season, we did not make picks for week 1, but Ryan and I have made picks since week 2. Out of the 77 games that you and I have picked, I am 50. I've gotten 50 correct. That's 65%. You've gotten 49 correct, my friend. It's good for 64. Zach, however, he's picked 23 games and has gotten 10 correct.
I went more bold the past few weeks. I didn't realize that my record would be displayed. So now I'm gonna have to just start taking safe picks to try to get my record back up there.
Basically, you just follow my picks, you'd be all right.
Apparently.
Oh my.
I'm not gonna go with Ryan's.
All right. So
what? Okay, enough of the slander.
All right. So let's get started. So let's just kind of run through some of these.
Would you like me to start, or you got it?
I got the first one. Let's do Texans at Panthers.
That's not the one I had, but go ahead.
Well, what did you have?
No, I like yours. Let's
All
go.
right. Texans at Panthers, the Suck Bowl. This is probably it is a Suck Bowl.
Yeah.
There's only what you got? Panthers are Panthers favored by 3? Is that what that is?
There's no way.
No, there can't be a way.
There's your chance. -3.
What's that?
Plus 3.
No, they're.
Oh,
yeah.
Texans.
There you go.
Texans are favored by 3.
I was about to say that I'm a big movie quote guy. There's a thing from Semi Pro is like, I bet my alleged son that this won't go in, and then he makes it. So I was about to say, I'd bet my alleged son. The Texans, they're the better team.
They are the better team. Chubba Hubbard. Love that name.
Why?
Just a fun name to say.
It is
Chubba Hubbard. He will be starting this game. He actually looked pretty good last time they were out against the Dolphins, even though the Dolphins kicked their ass. Going to take Texans on this one, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is
kind of surprised that they're only favored by 3.
I just hope they feed Dameon Pierce for fantasy reasons. For fantasy reasons, I wasted like a 4th round pick on this man. And I didn't realize that they were going to, with Singletary, split carries. I mean,
Yeah.
Damian Pierce is getting no fantasy points.
I don't get it either.
Makes no sense.
Well, they did say early on that there was more yards left on the table. That's why Singletary got more run. I think Damian Pierce, I'm hoping for myself too. I draft him as well. He balls out. But the biggest story is CJ Stroud going to keep going? I think he is. But the Panthers, they got to win a game at some point, right? So I think it's going to be close. But this Texans defense is a solid unit. And what the guys that they have and their offensive pieces, it's got to be Stroud. So Texans all the way?
Without
Texans all the way. Rams at Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 6. What are we thinking? I think the Rams, I mean, look, they came off a loss against the Steelers.
I was going to take them, but I need to catch up ground.
the Rams, they still are a good football team. They are in Dallas, so that's, of course, going against them. It's hard to play in Dallas. But I feel like I got to go Rams. The Cowboys still not confident in the way that they've been playing. And we'll have to see how that defense shows up against Puka Nacua. And I don't know. I'm going to go Rams on this one. 45.5 points total. I'm going to go under on that, I think.
I kind of like that under. Both these teams, it's kind of hard to say. Dallas plays way better at home, especially defensively. It feels like they just thrive off that energy at home.
Yes.
But if the Rams can find ways to get the ball to Nacua and to Cup, and they're able to establish a little bit of the run game, but they're really banged up in the run game right now, severely banged up. So that's a concern. I think Dallas wins this game. They should win this game, but I do think that the Rams, I could see it being a 3-point game.
Yeah. What you got?
I'm going to go Cowboys too. I think this is, like you said, I think this is going to be really close. And I'm honestly going to go Cowboys because they're home. Yeah. I mean, I think that's going to be the difference maker. I think it's a higher scoring game than people are going to think. I think people are going to look at the Dallas defense, and they get a lot of success off of creating turnovers and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily, we've seen them give up a lot of points.
Yeah,
obviously. So I think this is the perfect storm for the Rams. They have the right pieces to put up points there.
Agreed. Next, I got Vikings at Packers. Vikings are favored by 1 whole point after beating the 49ers.
How?
I'm easily taking the Vikings on this one. And I know it's a division game, and maybe that's why they're making it close, but Kirk Cousins looking good. And even though they're a little bit banged up, I still like the Vikings here as much as I love Jordan Love and crew.
Zach?
Vikings get the win in Daniil Hunter's last game before becoming a Raven.
There you go.
That's another guy. Hey, now, if the Vikings are winning games, are they going to trade their superstar?
Just give it to us.
Okay, well, fair enough. Well, hey, the Vikings, how about this? For the start that they had, starting off 0-3, have now won 3 of their last 4. And I think a big reason for that is Kirk Cousins playing well. And the bigger reason is because Kirk Cousins has the boys listen to some Creed. Listen here.
I mean, I'm getting my ankles taped pregame because I try to get them taped as late as possible, and I'm sitting there on the table, and suddenly it comes on, and Garrett Bradbury's doing some body work next to me, and he goes, "Forget this, I got to go enjoy this with the boys." So he then gets up and goes in the locker room, and I get my ankles taped, and we go in there. It's really good morale, and then we go to pray in the corner of the locker room, and any guys that want to pray, and we go prayer, over here, and so we had to turn the Creed off. And Harrison Smith made a great point. He said, "Guys, this is the prayer," and I thought that's pretty good. So yeah, we'll keep playing. But they keep playing higher, and I'm going. Creed has a lot of hits. They got a good catalog. We don't have to only play higher, but they're taking us higher, so we'll take it.
So a few things there. First off, love it, and Creed does have more hits than higher. We were just listening to One Last Breath before we started this broadcast.
That's why we're on delay.
Yes, it was on delay.
We had to finish the song.
Hold me now. The voice isn't there, but I think there's something to it. Also, for those that are wondering why Creed's having some good energy, who's in the World Series that was listening to Creed throughout the playoffs? They came through, Baltimore won, and then went to Houston.
Rangers.
It's something in the music.
It's not.
Not at all.
Okay. I was about to touch the mic there. Still haven't yet. So I haven't yet.
Smash the over by an hour.
Still haven't touched it. But are you really going to say that that's not bringing some good energy to the squad? You don't think Creed? I had an alt rock workout last night.
Pastor Kirk Cousins is what's bringing the good vibes.
Aren't the Rangers 0-1 though with Creed in attendance?
Well, that's different. There's that type of energy. The song
so
and the
you can listen to Creed, but you can't have them be in attendance.
Correct.
Do you think that
that makes no sense?
Do you think that Creed's going to try to go to a World Series game and they're like, absolutely not?
Oh, like yes, I think you have to do whatever it means.
Corey Seager's going to call him up and be like, no.
Yeah, this is not the time to be putting your winless streak. The World Series, we can try again next year, but you're not coming to the World Series to test this.
You know what? If they win the World Series, you can bring them to the parade.
There you go.
Live performance. But for right now, the live performance that we're seeing is the Vikings going to Green Bay. I think it's going to be a really good game. And I think the Vikings are feeling good, but I think Green Bay wins it. I think that they're going to be on such a high, and the Vikings, unfortunately, the Creed magic ends. Just kidding. Vikings win this game because of Creed.
I was like,
Vikings are going to win the Creed. Vikings are going to win because of Creed. They're going to get the 4-4, and hey, they're going to be right back in the thick of the NFC playoff picture. What do we got next?
They are. We got Saints at Colts. Saints are favored by 1. This, I think, is just. I'm trying to figure out what the suck bowl is, but there seems to be some pretty good candidates.
We just don't know who anyone is. Everything looks either good or suck bowl.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wouldn't say this is suck. It's just more so of I don't know. It's like I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Ricky Bobby, I don't know what to do with this game. I don't know exactly how to look at this because both teams show you moments of like, man, you're kind of good, and then
43 and a half points. Total points is 43 and a half. I'm taking the under on that too. I think both of those defenses are better than what their offenses are showing right now. So I'm going to go under, and I guess I'll take Saints on this one. This is a toss up for me.
I'm gonna go Colts, but I think this is going to be a good, entertaining game, but not because it's good football. Like it's going to be one of those entertaining games because like there are multiple fumbles like on a play, stuff like that.
Floppy AF.
Yeah, like this just gives me the vibes of a game that ends 17-14, but there's somehow like a safety that was scored in there that then they got 2 field goals. Like it's going to be it'll look like a normal score, but there's going to be some weird shit that happens.
Yeah, you're going to be watching Red Zone and be like, let's catch you up on this game. And it's going to be the wildest.
Yeah.
But
the double fumble Ruski.
Haven't seen that in ages. I'm going to take the Colts at home. I think the Saints right now are just finding, unfortunately, too many ways to lose their games. Like they fell behind to the Jags. They came back and then they lost it. They went on the road and beat the Patriots convincingly, but I do think shout out to the Colts coaching staff. I think that they have a good game plan. Gardner Minshew is playing solid and Jonathan Taylor is looking more and more like Jonathan Taylor. Games in Indy. I think Indy gets a win, but it will be close.
All right,
and shout out Jim Irsay for going on Twitter and saying that the NFL sent him a memo saying the refs messed up, and I don't think they were supposed to put that out on Twitter. Did you see that? Yeah, he.
No, they weren't.
No, they were not. Which I feel like they should anyway. All right, next up.
They should.
Oh, 100%. Next up is Patriots at Dolphins. Speaking of Patriots, Dolphins are favored by 9. I actually think that it's going to be closer than that.
Yeah. I would take Patriots +9.
Bill Belichick look, and we've talked about this last week, but when it comes to AFC East, the division games are just always so all over the place.
Throw the record books out the window.
100%. If the Patriots beat the Dolphins, this is going to be great to talk about next week. I can't wait. So who am I taking? Do I take the Patriots?
You won't.
I won't. I'm going to take Dolphins.
I'll take the Patriots.
Oh,
I'll go with it. We're going to see some Mike Gesicki returning to gritty all over the Dolphins is going to feast.
That will be crazy.
Yeah.
Who you got, Ryan?
Man, I still think the Dolphins are the better team. I think that
I
they
don't think they
Well,
are the
they
better
are
team.
the better team. It's just whether or not
This
they're going to
is-
show up.
Oh, well,
Like what? I mean, are they
This is
going to be?
AFC East?
so because I
Yeah.
think that they're the better team, and the Patriots always have some wild, crazy shit that happens against them down there. I just feel like that stays the same. Now, if Tyreek doesn't play, I think that would really change my thought on it.
Is he injured?
He's
He
he's
and Mostert are.
limited, questionable.
They're going to play.
Yeah,
They're
they're
gonna
going to play.
They're
They're
gonna
going to play.
I think it is close, but I'm not sold yet that win last week against the Bills is what's gonna catapult them. If they do win this week, then the conversation for the Patriots is going to drastically change. But give me Mike McDaniel and the Dolphins. Fins up at home.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next up we got Jets, Giants, and Jets are favored by 3. I think they should be favored by more than that. As much as I like Tyrod Taylor, I think that Jets defense is going to be all over the Giants. I'm taking Jets here, and they're going to cover easy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty easy one.
Jets, Jets. I do think it could be a very ugly game because I feel like that's just how the brand of football for both of them. But Breece Hall also, by the way, looks like he was the guy before he got injured. I think he has a big game. And when in doubt, then throw the ball 28 times to Garrett Wilson.
All right, next up we got Falcons at Titans. Falcons are favored by 3.
Derrick Henry's farewell tour.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, I'm going. Derrick Henry's gonna have a day. That's how he gets sent off. He's gonna have like a king-like day, like vintage Derrick Henry, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Kind of surprised the Falcons are favored by 3 points here, but
Are they home?
Falcons at Titans.
Well, no Tannehill.
Well, no
That
Tannehill.
doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, okay.
So you think Will Levis is the
Well, yeah, because I mean, what has Tannehill actually?
Yeah, like that.
Okay, timeout.
This year.
This year, that's what I'm talking about. This year,
they did beat the Bengals at home.
Well, that wasn't because of Ryan Tannehill.
He was 20-24, I think, that game.
He's
or
very
that was the
good.
Chargers game. One of the tomato.
He's very good at
managing the game.
Yeah, managing. I think you.
How do you
can
have
get more?
D-Hop has got nothing thrown to him.
Yeah.
Well, that's also the scheme of their offense too. By the way, it's if they could have a choice, run the ball 108 times or pass 108, they're gonna run the ball 108.
And why
times.
is that, Ryan?
Because they have
Ryan Tannehill.
No, I was about to say Derrick Henry. Wow, that's good for you guys.
That's a great clip, right there.
That is good. That's like, are you guys becoming best friends?
Hey, are we finishing each other's
sentences?
You guys are so full of shit. Titans win this game. I'm taking Tennessee.
All right. Next up, we got Eagles at Commanders. Pretty easy. Oh, well, I say that, but last game, Commanders almost beat the Eagles. I think the Eagles are back to form, though. Eagles are favored by 6.5. I think it's an easy one here. I'm taking Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I know that there's urgency for the
Are you
Commanders.
gonna do this every game?
What?
You did JETS, Jets, and
I
now it's
did.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah, I'm a corny bastard.
What's
and I hate myself a little bit. I'm gonna go. Where's my Creed playlist? Where's my alt rock playlist? My is it like angsty rock? Where is that? There's a song that I'll listen to some Nickelback. Anyway,
yeah.
And that'll get it going. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. I think that they're starting to put things more together, and I think their defense is going to respond way better after they were kind of embarrassed in that game at home.
Yeah, for sure. Browns at Seahawks. Seahawks favored by 3.5. I am taking the Browns easily here.
Yeah.
I love the Seahawks. I think they're a great team, but that Browns defense is redonkulous. And your boy,
PJ.
Gonna be under center.
Top 3 playmaker quarterback in the NFL.
Hey, you know what? I know we're rooting for the Ravens. If PJ wins again, we need to get a PJ Walker jersey.
The man's making $286,000 a year and is just leading the Browns.
That can't. Isn't the minimum?
But he's past all
400K?
that. No, he's past all. According to Spot Track,
Ever heard of it?
the PJ Walker is only making here.
And we'll look it up. But anyway, if PJ Walker wins this game, we should get a framed jersey. Send one, have him sign it to Zach.
Yeah, for sure. And he probably
I was wrong. He's making 1 million exactly.
Yeah. It's a good story, though.
So is that that's not
That's what you can tell you.
Well, it's because the Browns are only giving him however much, 286, because he was cut from his other contract with the Bears. So they still owe him.
So that's the thing is like,
I saw this somewhere.
That's a great story to tell your kids. You know, back in my day, we got to see PJ Walker.
Yeah, my
playing at the below the minimum,
outplay Massage Watson.
Yeah. It's like,
and lead the Browns to the playoffs. The Ravens won the Super Bowl, but led the Browns to the playoffs. It's unbelievable.
My dad had Joe Montana. I have
PJ
Walker.
So anyone out there, if we can get in touch with PJ Walker, that'd be fantastic. We're pulling for him. I love a good story, especially him just bouncing around, staying in the race. We talk about that with professional sports. Can you stay alive? And he has. But I'm going to take Seattle in this. Seattle's defense actually, I think, is a little bit better than people give them credit for.
Better than the Browns?
I'm not saying better than the Browns, but I think it's better than this consensus that they're this terrible defense. I think that they are a top 12 unit, not a top 3 like the Browns are, or you could say top 2, depending on who you talk to.
Here's what I will say, and to your point, no Ford in this game either. It's Kareem Hunt all day. Who knows how that ends up being?
And I think that plays into it. Now, one thing to watch is Kenneth Walker is dealing with a calf injury, didn't practice. That's my guy. Talk about the leader of my Amon-Ra St. Brown's, the leader of the team for me. Then it's Kenneth Walker. But Kenneth Walker is their workhorse. If they don't have him, that changes their dynamic. They want to run the football, but they do have more playmakers, Brad. So that's why I thought if I'm going to take the quarterback and the guys around, I trust the Seahawks. And I'd be really frustrated if, as a Ravens fan, if the Browns go to Seattle and get a win. That's a hard place to go win, but we'll find out.
Yep. Not last. We're getting there. Chiefs at Broncos. Chiefs are favored by 7. The Broncos coming off of a big win. Can they keep this momentum? Fuck no. Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah, this is.
And I don't know. Taylor Swift's.
Yes, is Taylor Swift going to be there?
I don't know if she's going to be. Well, look, we already know the stats about Travis Kelce. Apparently, there's like a thing. Like if your woman's there at the game, you kind of, peacock a little bit, as you would say.
Is that the correct term for that, though? Because peacocking is you wear like this vibrant clothing to really stand out, or is it the same concept? If you play really well, you're peacocking.
Not if you just play really well, but you're trying to like show out because you got certain people in the crowd that you're trying to make sure that you impress every game.
There are a concerning amount of stories online asking the question of if Taylor Swift is coming to this Chiefs game. Because I looked it up and there are a lot of like the Denver Gazette, like their Today Show, like there are big things like, and this is a story. This is incredible.
Listen. Her and Brittany Mahomes are.
Oh my god! And then Jackson ended. I saw
that's also got to be weird. I'm just pause for a second. Like Jackson Holiday is also, or Jackson Holiday.
Whoa.
Jackson Mahomes also like obviously controversy.
Yeah.
Surrounding around him and certain lady, and then you got him just chilling behind Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about that. Isn't that kind of weird?
They're trying to push it under the rug.
Yeah.
They're trying to limit more distractions, but. What's not distracting is that Travis Kelce is balling out when she's in the building, and the Chiefs still win games over and over and over again when everyone's like ready to say, no, another team's going to unseat the Chiefs. Hasn't happened yet so far, it's not looking like it's going to happen right now. I'm not saying down the road, but right now they should be the favorite in the AFC for a reason.
Agree. AFC West. I look. What's their schedule like? Does their schedule get harder from here?
Of course.
Because like it's been so easy. They've had a pretty easy schedule up to this point. I don't think who have they played with a winning record?
The Lions. They lost to the Lions. They played the Jets. They played the Bears. They played the Jags, the Vikings. So
that's my point.
Oh, okay. The Vikings are playing better ball. The Jets are a solid defensive team. The Jaguars are the leaders in the AFC South.
Meh.
They
Still-
do. This is their schedule upcoming after this Broncos game. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It is against the Dolphins. Both home games against the Dolphins, the Eagles.
No, whoa. That Dolphins game is going to be in Germany.
Oh, that's right. Home game in Germany. That's
Yeah,
right. That
yeah.
should be electric.
Yes.
International fans are going to be in a treat for that. That is amazing. Sorry. Then the Eagles come to Kansas City to play. Then after that, you get the Raiders and the Packers in back-to-back weeks before playing the Bills. You're going to play the Bengals towards the end of the season. So there are some tough games left in the schedule. They got to go to the Chargers, even though the Chargers are the Chargers.
Yeah.
It's a divisional game once again. But hey, the Chiefs are they win.
Yeah.
They win.
Easy schedule for them so far.
Yeah.
All right. Safe to say that you're taking Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Bengals at 49ers.
Oh.
49ers have lost 2 straight.
And they got Sam
And-
Darnold starting.
And they got Sam Darnold starting.
Is
Big
that
cock-
confirmed?
Yeah.
Yes. Big cock Brock.
Is
He's
out.
got to rest his.
Which I think,
His head.
kind of, yeah. That's what's going to end the tush push was out of all the things, Brock Purdy's ending the tush push. Did you see him get annihilated when they tried to quarterback sneak?
Wait, well, hold on. Does Brock Purdy squat 600 pounds like Jalen Hurts does?
I don't
No
know
one
if that was
okay.
protecting his
Can
head.
we talk about the tush push for a second here? The push tush push. People saying it can be outlawed. Clearly, it is hard to replicate in the NFL.
That I've been saying
well,
that.
so
since-
that's
I've
why
been
I
saying
think-
that, yeah. I like it. I don't understand what because they're doing it better than everybody else means it has to be.
And that's why I
No.
think this is going to be the thing that does it because
No, I don't.
I think then the NFL's go look and go, okay, now all these teams are trying it, and now we have a quarterback with brain damage.
No, that's bullshit. Get a bunch of big guys up there. Get somebody who can squat 600 pounds like Jalen Hurts.
Why can't
and then
we
do
just
it
put
yourself.
a lineman back there? Is
Yeah.
that like
yeah, Matt. I was thinking about for a quarterback sneak. Imagine you talk about Vita Vea missing the game. Imagine Vita being under center and taking
Yeah.
that snap and then trying to tackle that guy for a yard,
I was
stop
just-
his momentum.
I was just thinking from the Ravens standpoint, it would be Pat Ricard back there.
yeah?
Bowling
Ricard-
ball.
Yeah, Pat Ricard and the tush push. I feel like it could be a lock.
I feel like
But who's giving him? That's a big body. Who's pushing him from behind there? You got to give him. You got to give him a push.
Mark Andrews.
You might still not. You might need like a line. You might need to get
you'd have
like
to bring
Matabike or
Falele.
Yeah, you could get some defensive guys in there if you want.
Zay Flowers behind.
Oh yeah,
Bring
for sure.
Haloti
Zay
Nada
Flowers can
back.
do it.
Remember when Haloti Nada used to be the big fullback?
Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Goal line?
But so anyway,
When life was simple.
quarterback. It was simple back then, but quarterback sneaks and the tush push, all that, it's hard to replicate. Tom Brady was the best at the quarterback sneaks by far. He just knew what to do. We talked about it. Lamar Jackson does a lot of things well. Quarterback sneaking specifically under center is not one of his top abilities, to say the least. But anyway, I
That's what we needed
digress.
Flacco to teach him. Flacco was incredible at that for no reason.
He was good at it.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, he
Yeah.
was good at it.
Flacco was insane at quarterback sneaking for no reason.
Love that. Hey, you know what? You love to see it. You hate to see that Brock Purdy's not playing. Let's get back to this game.
So I'm gonna take God.
It's in San Francisco.
Bengals are coming off of a bye.
Correct.
I think a healthy Joe Burrow probably could go toe to toe with these 49ers and a Brockless 49ers at that. I'm going to take the Bengals, even though 49ers are favored by 3.5.
I'm going to say this is the week that does Sam Darnold take over the 49ers?
No.
What?
This is why your record is what it is.
Okay.
I'm
All
going-
right.
I am going.
I was just
49ers.
about to break. I was about to
am
bring
going-
this mic closer because that's just
I'm going. There's no way the 49ers lose 3 straight. That's honestly what I'm going with. This is why I see no way. And I think the way they run that offense, I don't think Purdy is the difference maker.
Is Debo back?
No, I don't
it
think
hasn't been clarified. Most likely, I think the last time I saw is that they were not expecting him back for
No.
week 8
All the more reason.
to take the Bengals.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? I'm with it. I think San Francisco finds a way. They are embarrassed by how they played. I think that McCaffrey gets the ball 66 times, maybe 68, or your favorite number 69.
Nice.
And they
What?
find a way to win. It has for the 49ers, they have to win this game. In my opinion, I shouldn't say have to, but you need to be able to right the ship. You're playing a tough team. You're at home. This defense, I think, has been disappointed enough. And there was some fluke plays in that Vikings. The Addison touchdown, the long play, even though he just really just bodied was it Ward? Yeah. Just took it away from him and then threw the Michael Jordan like hands up in the air. Give me the 49ers, and maybe just because I'm so hopeful that they can, so it can be good.
Actually, I do want to change my pick. I realized it's really close to Halloween, and Sam Darnold has a thing for seeing ghosts. So I'm gonna actually switch to the Bengals now.
Good. I'm staying San Fran. Let's go. Give me San Francisco.
Is McCaffrey fully healthy too?
Yeah.
He is. He kept me alive, and
he won me a fantasy game on Monday. So,
well, that doesn't mean he's fully healthy.
He put on a show.
All right. Well, Bears and Chargers is the last game before we get into Monday's game, which we'll pick on Monday. Bears and Chargers. Chargers are favored by 8.5. I think that's a bit high. Chargers have been sus.
Yeah.
Bears have we're coming off of, I don't even remember the guy's name anymore. The undrafted rookie. Bajent. Thank you.
It's amazing.
Coming off of a huge win.
I mean, you have to go Chargers.
I'm going Bears. Going Bears on this. And the only reason I'm going Bears on this is because Brandon Staley taking the Bears. Bear down.
I did see this. I guess there's some rumors going around. I saw this on Chargers Twitter about if Brandon Staley loses this game, pretty much he's fired. So
he's fired already.
Yeah. So
on the spot. It will be right as the game hits 0. If they lose this game, the notification will be out. Adam Schefter will already have the tweet out. Brandon Staley has been relieved of his duties as head coach effective immediately if they lose this game.
So I saw Chargers fans on Twitter saying, okay, are you rooting for the Chargers to lose to get rid of Brandon Staley? It's actually like a poll on Chargers Twitter. Would you be okay with them losing this game so that we get rid of Brandon Staley? I think that's incredible. There are people that were like that for Harbaugh for a while.
For sure.
That was unwarranted.
But yeah, the difference between Staley and Harbaugh is Harbaugh's had a reputation of leading a team and being a perennial playoff and Super Bowl contending team. Staley and this Chargers team
won a Super Bowl.
Yes, but so I'm saying on a consistent basis, the Chargers we've been talked about for the last couple of years, they were already supposed to overthrow the Chiefs. Didn't happen. All right, they're going to make noise in the playoffs. They did make noise for a half, and then they had the worst half you could possibly imagine in a game you should never lose. Right. And already so Justin Herbert, by the way, has the most losses since 2020.
Since the 2020 draft. Since the 2020 draft, Justin Herbert has the most losses of any quarterback in the National Football League.
And do you have his stats pulled up of what his numbers have been since Mike Williams went down?
Yeah. So there you go. This is what actually Zach put up here.
Yeah. So here's where I think a lot of it goes to a double standard, because where are the headlines asking if Justin Herbert's worth the money, if the Chargers are getting their money's worth? I get that Brandon Staley is not a good coach and he's not doing well.
But Brandon Staley ain't throwing 4 interceptions.
Yeah. Like there's just times where Herbert clearly, yes, he has a hurt finger or however people wanted to make that comment. This is still not there. I think 1-2 in these games.
Yes.
Yeah. Just if Lamar Jackson does this,
people will lose their money.
We'd probably have Stephen A. Smith on First Take saying something stupid like, "Are the Ravens getting their money's worth from Lamar Jackson?"
Why would he say something like that? Could
he wouldn't.
He never did. Unimaginable.
I will say, I think that's kind of the debate that we were having, or that I actually want to touch on a little bit earlier with Herbert. I love Herbert's talent. The arm talent, the ability, what he can do is amazing. But I think the part that frustrated me so much with Lamar Jackson is the fact when we go around and you look at other teams and what they've always had. We talked about Jalen Hurts. When A.J. Brown got there, you saw a big transformation. Yes, they have Devontae Smith, but also testament to Jalen Hurts. But when you have a guy like that makes a difference. Josh Allen having Stephon Diggs made the world of difference. Justin Herbert had some really good pieces around him. Keenan Allen is a top 10 wide receiver when healthy. He's having a great season. Then you have Mike Williams, who is a great deep ball threat, and Austin Eckler, who is a top 5 running back.
We
Right?
also had Quentin Johnson in the first round.
Right. Well,
I mean, he's running cardio right now, but like,
but Joshua Palmer's great. But I think the problem, at least that you're seeing, is whatever it may be, whether it's the coaching dynamic or Justin Herbert. When Justin Herbert played his ass off in those first games where he was perfect, they still lost.
Yep.
And now when they're down weapons and they're finding ways to lose games still, there you are. And this is the point where I say with Lamar, whether he played at an extremely high level or low level, but the Ravens still won the game, he was criticized.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we kind of sit at. And I believe in Herbert. I do. But something there is off. And you can say the coaches aren't putting him in a good position, but the reality is when you are down your guys, can you help elevate your play to the players or help elevate your team to the ones around you?
Yeah.
And right now that can't be answered as yes. And on the other flip side, I will say coaching, if they keep going analytics and keep going for it, then I don't know what to tell you either. Because the decision making has hurt also Herbert's value. On top of it, but the Lamar comparison,
it ain't close.
It ain't close.
Nope. That's it. That's it for the picks.
By the way, Chargers, I think, win this game.
Did you make a pick?
Yeah, I picked Chargers.
It's again, Chargers win.
Chargers.
If not, Staley's resignation's on there.
Yeah.
And I got the Bears.
The Bears. I want to see Bajent ball out too, and I want to see his dad arm wrestle somebody at halftime. I will pay to see that.
Brandon Staley.
After he gets fired, he loses an arm wrestling match to Tyler Bajent's dad. What if that's what has to happen if they lose? You can save your job by beating Tyler Bajent's dad in an arm wrestling contest.
I will gladly referee that.
That would be
I will
incredible.
pay to referee that.
How do we get that live streamed on the Ryan Ripken show?
I don't know. That would be sick though.
As soon as we get
Brandon Staley fights for his job, live streamed at 7:00 on Monday.
Who says no?
He gets his arm snapped in half.
What if he wins? It would be more impressive.
That'd be.
So who's? This is a good question. It just popped in my head. Give me what coach in the NFL could actually go toe to toe and arm wrestle that dude?
You would have to. It would have to be Dan Campbell.
Nope. I'm going Mike Vrabel.
Wow, he's an underrated guy.
Ryans could also, I think.
Hey,
DeMeco
don't sleep on Robert Saleh, who's also just an absolute brick shithouse or whatever the term is.
If you know what, when you look at it like, if Andy Reid got all of his momentum flying one way, that would be hard to, like, if Andy Reid really got a swing with.
You said Andy Reid.
If he uses all of his weight, I'm not saying he's the top pick, but like a different strategy, throw the whole body. None of these guys are beating the world champion, but
have you guys ever seen Over the Top?
No. Oh. Sorry.
Never even heard of it. Sylvester Stallone. It's actually,
it
is a movie about arm wrestling.
That's amazing.
You need to watch it.
All right, I'm gonna have to watch it.
But Tyler Bajent's dad's in it.
Yeah, he should be.
He should be.
Should be in the
Probably
remake.
based on him.
Also to the confidence that he has, like he's gonna smack talk the hell out of whoever it's gonna be, and that in itself is content. Maybe one day we can get Bajent's dad on here. That would be fantastic. Actually, just get Bajent. I would love to see that story. Would love to see that story. But I think we'll leave our differences on who wins. Zach's champion is Andy Reid. That's just
Get the full weight going one way. I'm telling you, no one is stopping that freight train from going down.
Mike Vrabel, I feel like has the best chance.
I think like realistic chance. Yeah, it would be.
I think he has that demeanor to him that
he's just Well, it's that the swagger, right? The attitude, and that he's just jacked.
Would Belichick even show up to the competition? I don't think he would. I think he'd send his dog. Remember, like the draft?
No, Mike McDaniel's not showing up. I can.
Mike McDaniel, no.
He would just
get thrown.
He'd just be like, "This isn't gonna go well." Whoa, and he'd be.
Yeah, I think they would get and he would just get thrown across.
He'd be thrown like Tua's throwing a ball to Tyreek. Tyreek will catch.
Or does he have some sort of tactical approach to it?
Like some analytics, he slips the elbow.
Right, like nobody thinks that he has the look of an NFL coach, but it's like maybe he's cut out for it.
Well, hey, never judge a book by its cover. You never know. And we're going on. And I don't know if we have any more questions for tonight, but I just want to say for anyone, because we didn't do this enough this show. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for joining us. If you're returning, we love you guys being back. Sorry we got off on some antics. And sorry for the delay.
Do not apologize for that.
Well, my antics.
I'm here for antics.
Well, my antics are more of being like a little bit delayed because the earpiece, and I needed to listen to some
screen antics.
Yeah,
brick shithouse.
Isn't that a phrase? That's a phrase.
I know. I think you said it wrong.
I feel shit. I don't know.
What I'm trying to say is
the comments is a shit brick house.
The dude is a monster.
That's a brick shit.
Hold me now.
You said shit brick house.
I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you all Monday.
6 feet.
Have a great weekend. We love you all.
Ain't so far down. See you guys.